Hi everybody. Over the last couple of months we've had several calls for, believe it or not, a nozzle stuck in a gas tank. And personally I've run two of those types of calls and they were with the same vehicle, and I've been hearing more about this happening with that model vehicle. So we're going to just do this quick video to show you what we found and how we were able to fix the problem. In both of the cases that I personally had, it was involving the 2013 model Ford Escape. As we did more research on it, we found that starting in 2007 and 2008, Ford Motor Company started using this easy fuel system or capless fuel system on some of their vehicles. And again, this is a picture of the Ford Escape Hybrid, the 2013 model. Now the concept behind this fuel system is that only the type of fuel that is allowed to go in that vehicle will fit. So in this case they're showing a diesel fuel nozzle being put in. If this is a diesel fuel vehicle, then it will accept that. But if it's not, if it's a standard fuel vehicle, then it will not accept this nozzle. And there are pins that are down inside the filling system there that will guide the nozzle down where it needs to go. So if the nozzle that you put in is not the right size, it won't let it get past the points that are in there. And so that's part of the issue of that concept. And it also is supposed to be to stop people from being able to easily steal the fuel because of that door that's on the front. Somehow it resists siphoning, and it won't let you siphon. It said when I was reading that if you would stick some type of hose down there to try to siphon, it's not going to meet the requirement of the nozzle size, so it's not going to work. They also said that these vehicles have a funnel that's located in the spare tire area that is in case you need to fill in an emergency from a fuel tank. You would actually have to put that nozzle in this easy fuel system first because it's the correct size, and then you take your gas can and pour into the funnel, and that would be for emergency filling situations. So back to the cap or the fill point on the 2013 Ford Escape. This picture kind of shows, you can see that there's a door here in the front, and this door you obviously push right here in the center, and the bottom part folds in, and then up here at the top is where your hinge would be. And what we found is that basically as people put this nozzle in, if they push the nozzle in too far, we think what we could tell is this bottom part of the door that folds back is what actually gets hung up. And I'll show you here in a second what part of the nozzle that it works on. Now I haven't been able to find out that if this is a Missouri thing or different state to state, because I looked at a lot of different nozzles on the internet, and I found that different gas nozzles are made different ways. And the piece that these ones here in Missouri are getting hung up on, I don't know if every nozzle across the country is made that same way. I haven't been able to get a definite answer on that. So I'm just kind of speaking from what we found here in the Missouri area. This is the best picture I could get. You can see we're taking a screwdriver there and just kind of pushing in on that door. You can kind of see, I'll outline it here, this is the bottom of the door, and then it's hinged up here in the top, somewhere in the back here. So if you push from the bottom in, you know, you're going to get it and it's going to go up. And so what's happening is people are pushing the nozzle in way too far, and I'll show you on the next picture here what's getting hung up. But once it gets stuck in there, then you have to figure out how you're going to get it out, and there's not a lot of room to be able to access it. So this is a picture of the nozzle that we have here in Missouri. That both of the calls I was on, this is actually what happened. It was with this type of nozzle. And just to orient you a little bit, this section down here is the boot. It's that actual vapor barrier that's towards the handle. We have it pulled back here in the picture. And then so up here towards the front is where you would insert into the vehicle. So you can see if they just do an inch or two in and start flowing the fuel, then it's fine. It's not going to get to this collar section. But where we found the problem is basically with this collar section right here, when the people who we've had the calls on have pushed this beyond these first few inches, and they get that door that I showed earlier, wedged right in here against this collar. Now remember, like I told you, you know, let's see if I can draw my picture. It's kind of a round door like that, and it's hinged up here at the top. So basically, as you're looking into the hole where the fuel's going, the hinges, on the ones I've had, it's always been at the top. So hopefully that'll help you kind of orient what you have going on. Now what we were able to do in both cases is pull the boot section back, which gives us a little bit more room kind of in this area here on both sides. It kind of frees up some room so you can jiggle the nozzle around a little bit more. And we were able to, in the first one, put a screwdriver in and actually touch right here on this door and sort of push it up out of the way to get it to clear. But at first, you know, we didn't know if the door was, if it went down or if it went to the left or the right or whatever. So that's kind of the key, is to know that that door hinges up. So you always want, if you're going to put something in there to try to pop it free, you need to make sure you come in from this top section of the nozzle. Now, the other thing, obviously, that you can see from the picture, what helped us was, before we could just put a screwdriver or something in there and pop it loose, we had to push the entire nozzle further into the vehicle so that we could clear this little section right here. So I would just pull the boot back, push the nozzle in a little bit, and then try to get something in here right at the top of the nozzle and release that door and get it to flip up. Now on the second vehicle that we just had yesterday, it was a brand new 2013 Ford Escape, and it was very tight. We weren't able to get anything into the hole around the nozzle, really. You could kind of get a screwdriver in a little bit, but not anything to where you could feel like you were getting pressure on that door. But what we were able to do in this case was, again, pull the boot back, shove the nozzle in a little bit more, and then actually just kind of manipulate it with both hands and turn it counterclockwise a little bit, and then back to the right, and then counterclockwise again, and eventually it actually released the door, and we were able to then pull the nozzle out. So between either trying to use the screwdriver up on top or being able to just release the pressure from the boot and sort of work it around, I think you should be able to get it out. So again, I'm not sure if this is something that's a Missouri only thing or you know, either way, but this is what we've been finding here with the nozzles that have the vapor barrier. Just to do a quick review of it, here's what I'm talking about, is that always remember that this seems to hinge up here in the top. So when you have that whole area blocked off by the nozzle being in there and sometimes that boot being tight, you just need to remember, whatever maneuvers you're doing, this bottom piece is probably what's stuck against the top of the nozzle, and then that it's hinging up here in the top. So hopefully this will help you. If you run into this call, please comment below the video if you have any experience with this or any other information. As far as what I found online, there was somebody who commented that they talked to their dealer, you know, and they obviously told them don't push the nozzle in that far. But I think, you know, if people don't understand it and they're not comfortable with this cap, they're going to really be trying to push it down in there. So it may be something you run into until they fix the issue. So again, if you have any experience with it, please comment in the comments below the video. Otherwise, have a great day. I hope this will help you out. Thanks for watching.